All right, everybody, welcome back to another Steel Wire podcast. It's December 18th, 10:12 in the morning. I'm joined here again with my dad, Tim. What's up, Dad?
Hey, guys.
So we're just coming off a win against the Patriots for the first time since 2011. It feels good. It's Tuesday, and I still just feel like I feel great. I mean, no matter what's happening, it's just like ultimately I'm like, man, we beat the Patriots, so nothing can stop me right now. How do you feel about it, Dad?
Well, I feel the same way. They're always one of my most worrisome teams, playing them. And, to get a win, and it's been a while now. So it feels really good.
Yeah, it's like double as good because that would have been like 4 losses straight, So it's like to turn the ship around against a team like the Patriots. It's just great. It's a great feeling. That puts us, we're still only a half game ahead of the Ravens, but they still got to play the Chargers and the Browns. Now we got to go to New Orleans, then Cincinnati. I think we're looking good. I think right now, like I said before, I think Pittsburgh can hang with anybody in the league, honestly. I think Pittsburgh can compete with anybody, and it's like it depends on who shows up. Like we saw on Sunday, a different defense than we've seen all season, in my opinion. I felt like I saw a defense that was hungry out there on the field. How did you feel about the defense?
Yeah, I feel like they, finally had a sense of urgency and played with some heart and passion, especially with everybody winning. Baltimore winning, Indianapolis winning, the Texans winning.
Everybody. Indy win was big.
So they're all staying that game or so behind us. So we control our own destiny, so we just got to keep it.
Yeah, that's the thing is I feel like we're in the driver's seat right now, and we just can't afford to give that up to anybody else. And it's going to be tough going to New Orleans to stay in control of that, but I honestly think we can get the job done. So, just diving into the game, maybe on the offensive side a little bit, we had some little like under the radar players show up today. Who do you think was the biggest influencer of the game who isn't like a primetime guy in your opinion?
Offensively?
Yeah, offensively.
Yeah, I think Jalen Samuels really came out to play. It's kind of crazy. They kind of seem to throw in the little wrinkles of those off-direction runs, where they pitch it to a side and let him run, misdirection. So, it seemed pretty successful against the Patriots. So I think he ran hard. He hit the hole hard. Mm-hmm. Patriots don't have the best run defense in the world, but it was good to see us start to run the ball. So I think he, it looks more comfortable this week rather than last week. So I thought he was the best player we had on offense.
Yeah, I think he, especially coming off a week against the Raiders, when him like any type of run game we tried to get going with him, it was really bad. And for him to bounce back the way he did against a team like the Patriots is, and it's just like not even against the Patriots, but in such a crucial game. You know what I mean? It didn't matter who we were playing this week; we needed this win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like for him to step up in that fashion against this team at this point in time is huge. I feel like.
Yeah, it keeps that clock running, keeps Tom Brady off the field, and he also caught a couple good balls. And I remember one was a crucial third down pick. So, I thought he played well.
On that drive, too, I think I don't remember where we started exactly. It might have been our own 2 or something. But that Vance McDonald 3rd and 9 conversion, which is massive. That was such a huge play. Other than that, it was all Jalen Samuels all the way up the field. You know what I mean? Every play, Samuels moved the ball. Because I think one of those plays, too, he just rushed for 12. And it was like, shit, a free first down. All right, we'll take it. Keep that clock rolling, But I do have to say, regardless of how much time's on the clock, I just kept thinking to myself, like, they got Brady on the other end of this. You know what I mean? So it's like I felt confident, but I don't know if there's been a game. It's always the Patriot games, the ones where I'm, like, ultimately stressed. You know what I mean? But it was, like, down to the wire the whole time. I'm like, they have Brady. It don't matter to me. You know what I mean? Even, like...
I know, it's always scary, man.
Yeah,
You're out of it. And the way Steelers have let other teams back into games, So, and you got the number one guy who could do it against us. It's pretty scary. But, kudos to our defense. Let's get into the defense a little bit.
No, our defense... Go ahead.
Yeah, we spot them 7 points in the beginning, but then you only allow them 3 points the rest of the game. That's kudos to Pittsburgh's defense. Holding the Patriots to 10 points, or... Even if you would have said, 3 points after their first possession, it's amazing. Kudos to those guys. They put pressure on. They put pressure on Brady. They covered well. So they tackled well. That was one thing. We only missed 2 tackles all
Yeah,
game.
that's great.
Yeah.
Antoine Blake used to miss like 6 a game a couple years ago. That shit was like, that was reckless.
Right.
That's what I've said before. Is I mean, defense is my favorite side of the ball to watch. You know what I mean? Whenever, even on my team, I mean, like I said before, like offense does score. I mean, defense does too. But like, I like to watch our defense more than anything, and I haven't felt that way this season until this game. You know what I mean? Like, just seeing our defense on the field, like I actually felt confident again. And even though the Patriots are moving the ball from 20 to 20 or 30 to 30 pretty easily, our red zone defense was tough. You know, like, I don't know. I just think I'm just really like proud of the way our secondary played after that. Like, I know Hogan got that breakaway free touchdown, but nobody shut down. Nobody gave up. Everybody came back the next play ready to go. You know what I mean? And we got the job done. That's like that. I mean, Romo was going nuts about the whole Belichick formation, 4th and 1. All of a sudden they're rotating out and they're punting, and he's like, "Oh, this is vintage Belichick," and it's like the clock's expiring. Like they're not going to score on this drive. We're going to clock it either way. You know what I mean?
Right.
And just, I mean, I guess what the point behind me saying that is like I think the communication was great. Hayden just stepped back and he's like, "I'll just take this punt and we'll just down it." You know what I mean? Like it was like everybody else. I mean, not everybody else, but like Romo and like everybody in the booth was like all excited, like this is crazy. And it's like the end game is going to be the same. The ball's going to be down.
Yeah, the point was mute.
Yeah, so it's
we pulled some shenanigans like that too, where we act like we're going to go for it. You try to draw the guy off sides, and you see Ben go back a little bit and give it a little pooch kick or whatever. I mean,
yeah, that was cool. I like that play actually.
Yeah, that totally. That's something that really catches you off guard. You don't even have time to get a guy back there. But.
Yeah, that would have made more sense if they did that. But the fact that they rotated the formation, they got into a punt formation. It's like Hayden just stepped back and was like, "I'm gonna get this ball, and we'll just finish the half." You know what I mean? So
New England always tries to do that. Like the hurry up where they do their substitutions and they try. Then we're slow on it. We got that penalty, 12 men on the field.
Yeah,
stuff like that happens. I mean, the Patriots really look to do those type of plays. A couple times a game. It seems like.
Yeah, which I mean, get it where you can. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta stay mentally sharp. And Pittsburgh's just known not being too mentally sharp. And I think after that, we got that penalty. We blew the coverage, and I think we started getting mentally strong then. But I mean, I thought this game was going to be a shootout.
Same here.
Before the game played, I thought it was going to be in the high 30s, low 40s, and it started off that way. All of a sudden, boom, 7-7. I thought to myself, here we go. We gotta score. We gotta keep this pace up.
I feel like it was gonna be like the Kansas City game where they dropped 20 real quick, and then we dropped 20 back, and it's like shit. It's a boxing match both ways.
I just was hoping we'd score just to stay at least one up on them the whole time, and then then all of a sudden, our defense really held strong.
I guess what I'm just the most like proud of, I guess, as a fan, is when you bring up mentally strong. That's how I feel like our defense was this game, because like through adversity, they came back and they just didn't care. Like that when Chris Hogan caught that touchdown pass, I was pissed. But it's like, ultimately, it's on if the defense goes and sits down and just drinks their water and takes their helmets off and just gives up, then we lose. But it's like they came back and they rallied and they shut Gronk down. Gronk wasn't shit this game. He's been exposing us for like years, and he was not a factor at all this game. He caught 1 third down conversion, and I was like, shoot, maybe. But then he wasn't anything. He couldn't even block. You know what I mean? It was like. It just felt great to like actually stick it to him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And ultimately, it also didn't matter to me because we needed this win. I didn't care who we were playing this week. Like, I just wanted to win. It didn't matter who against.
I'm wondering if Brady has confidence in that Josh Gordon. He only targeted him twice. That one he dropped one of the passes, but didn't target that Josh Gordon. I thought he'd be more of an impact player going over there to New England.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't anything in this game at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Pittsburgh's defense took a lot away from them. I honestly think our secondary played so well this Sunday, but I also do want to say like the Patriots had some key drops in the first half where I was like kind of like, damn, that was luck. I mean, I'm glad he dropped that ball. You know what I mean? Which it does go both ways. What's up?
Yeah, big third down pickups. Those drops help.
Yeah, which I mean, it goes anyway. Like Pittsburgh's dropped balls all season long. We've missed third downs, but I mean, it's just like
one in the end zone. I think the defender made a good play on it.
The defender made a great play, but Juju still. I think he could have came down with that. Honestly, the only reason I think he didn't is because he didn't want to hurt somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Indy, come here.
We still need to work on a few things, though. Like Joe Hayden, I think Joe Hayden powered the defense and got them going. I think he's finally getting to where we need him to be. I hope this is a breakout game for him.
I hope so too.
Get after it. But the thing is, like that 3rd and 16, he had that PI. So that kind of kept their drive going. And that's another thing, too, is once they got that PI, it's like one of those Patriot things. Like, here you go. You know, you have them 3rd and long. You got them right where you want them. And then, you know, they get bailed out by a PA, you know, penalty. And it's like, gosh, you can't give the Patriots too many opportunities. You know, just like the 2 turnovers by Ben. You know, you just cannot turn the ball over and give New England, you know, they thrive on that extra life, that turnover, you know, to get another possession to take it down and, you know, possibly score. So,
if you
like I said, another problem we have is time management. I don't like how we use our timeouts. We waste them. Our challenge is we challenge trivial things that really don't mean a whole lot like that, you know.
I was gonna make a point about defense off that, but now that you brought up the challenges and stuff, like that punt challenge was just awful. You know, it's like we talked about the other day. Like it's just like you can only challenge something when there's like a reasonable amount of evidence. You know, like you can't challenge something and then be like, oh, maybe we got this wrong. But they can't switch it because they've got to.
Disputable,
yeah. And even with that being said, that wasn't even close. The toe was never on. I don't know who's telling Tomlin to challenge these, but it's like Tomlin was great though. Honestly, like I think this was his best game this season. But that challenge, I was like, why are we wait? Like I was literally thinking to myself, like we're just blowing a timeout.
Right.
You know, it doesn't make
another
sense.
Problem I think we're having too is our deep ball's not looking as good as usually. There's something shaking up there. You know, we're not connecting on our deep ball. We're overthrowing. You know, I think we need to settle down on the deep balls. You know, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 4, we're going too deep. We need to try to keep these drives alive, especially when you have Brady over there. Let's just get the first down, get it set down, give it to Samuels, let him pound away, or throw some short passes, or go long on first down.
Right.
You know. And then I thought Switzer did a crazy thing on that punt. They punted it down. 2 New England guys were downing it, and then Switzer decides to dive in there or dive in the pile.
Yeah, that was really odd.
The ball's around like that, and you got 2 New England Patriots. Just let him down and clear away. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what that was going to accomplish, him diving in there like that. Very, very odd play.
Yeah.
And obviously, we already talked about that touchdown, that blown coverage, where 3 guys go with Gordon, and you know. Leave the other guy wide open for a touchdown. So
that's
we can't. But we've persevered after that, so it's good to see us rebound well. But those are some of the things. Also, I have on here Ben's 2 picks. The first one I'll put on Ben because it was a total overthrow. I don't know what he was thinking. Threw it clear over the top, right at the safety.
Yeah, it was an overthrow, but that's like that to me is a pick I can live with as a fan because he's thrown some terror. I mean, the standard for his interceptions to me is decently low. You know what I mean? So him trying to make a play with that ball and picking it and throwing it away, I was like, damn, like that sucks. But I was like, fuck, half the time he throws it into triple coverage. You know, I think Ben had a really good game though. But anyways, go ahead and.
Well, I was just gonna say the second one goes tipped, so it was just a good play by, I think it was Gordon. I'm not sure who caught that one. I'm not sure who it was, but yeah, it was a good play on that guy. You know, off the deflection to catch that. Yeah. And then intentional grounding by Ben wasn't real good. I mean, throwing over there in the corner where nobody was. I mean, just throw it over the goalpost. I mean, you're throwing it away. Just throw it out of the stadium. Just, you know.
Show Boswell where the ball's supposed to go or something.
Yeah, you know. So, yeah, that's another thing, too. Yeah, speaking of Boswell, you know, our field goal kicking still, you know, he was 50% on the game. I was so glad he made that second one. But, you know, that first one was pretty much a chip shot. And
the first one, that shit was terrible.
Yeah, it's not like it's the wind or you got. I mean, it's coming right off his foot and it's like shanking right hard. You know, it's not even close.
There wasn't any give either way. It was just straight 45 degree to the right. You know what I mean? It was just like there goes that. You know, and it's especially a killer because it's like we don't get the 3 we should be getting honestly, and we give them the ball at like the 33. You know, so it's like damn. I do want to. Go ahead.
Also, talk about some good points here real quick. Some players that came in and did really good. As Eli Rogers came in.
Eli was huge,
Yeah, he came in, had some key catches, especially in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, he had a key third down conversion that led to eventually a touchdown. Kept that drive alive for us.
James Washington caught some big balls. Big combative catch going up there high and ripping that thing down. So it's good to see the rookie coming in there and seeing, getting some signs of life.
Yeah, I do want to say real quick with James Washington too, it's like with him and Juju, we got two of the strongest receivers in the NFL, I feel like. It's like that's when you say we need to go
built a lot of life.
Yeah, you're like, we need to shy away from the deep ball and kind of try to convert these third downs. It's like, I feel like we should be able to without a problem with people like Vance McDonald, who's massive, James Washington, who's strong, and Juju, who's just in every aspect of his game is strong. Speed-wise, strength-wise, everything, I think those third down conversions should come easy when we got weapons like this.
Especially going 5 wide like they did. I mean, we're going to be a tough team. I mean, we haven't seen much from Pittsburgh doing this 5 wide. So I think, getting these guys some experience, get them out there like Washington, get Eli back into it. I mean, who are you going to cover? You got to pick your poison. Are you going to come out? What are we going to come out? Are you going to come out in your base defense? What are we going to start out 5 wide? It just puts another wrinkle in our attack.
Yeah, we got a lot of looks to give them. That's even, it's kind of dumb to say, but I feel like even Switzer's a weapon.
Oh, yeah.
There was one play, I can't quite recall what down it was or what happened, but he got the ball on the outside, and he just hit another level of speed and managed to get the first down and got hit pretty hard at the end of it and just bounces up like no big deal. And it's like...
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I really like Switzer. He just doesn't seem like he's that big of a deal for us, but I think he is actually a pretty big piece of the puzzle for us. You know what I mean? Because he can just come out. He's like a wild card. He can just randomly do that. And it's like, okay, sweet, first down, let's go. He's a fun player. I like him a lot.
Yeah, he just creates mismatches, especially when he goes in motions, gets in the backfield. How many times have we seen it where Switzer, he just swings out and we just hit him on that little route right there?
That's that's where I think he's the best. Is like he reminds me of like Ty Montgomery-esque. Where he's like he could basically be like a little running back where he can just go out there and just get him the ball and let him work with some room, and he's gonna be. I think he's good out there. You know what I mean? So
he's got great burst speed. He gets that ball and like the linebackers get a bad angle on him. He just hits that burst, and he's getting 7-8 yards pretty easily.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Another game ball I wanted to give to is like I said, Jalen.
Oh, we're giving game balls now. Okay. Who you giving one to?
Jalen Samuels, I think he did really good.
Yeah, I think
he caught some good passes, So he was definitely key in that. Another thing I want to say too is our offensive line. They came to play today. Yeah. Ben's running the 5 wide. They're giving him time, to get the ball out of there. Plus, we're running the ball. So I think our offensive line definitely was another big key factor.
Do you know how many times Ben got sacked?
I think he got sacked one time, I believe. At least once.
Yeah, he got sacked twice. I think it was both in the first half, but I was thinking the same thing. I was like...
Yeah, I think maybe on the same drive.
Yeah.
2 sacks, like back-to-back, maybe on the same drive.
Yeah, so it's one of that Van Noy just didn't get blocked. I don't know if it was a part of the play or something, but Van Noy just didn't get blocked, and he just ran out the middle and sacked Ben right away. And it was just like...
by Samuels. It looked like he kind of went out on a pass pattern where he should have stayed in there and possibly blocked.
Yeah.
I rewound it a couple times and looked at it, but I'm not sure what he had called, or it might be just give it to the Patriots as a good call, a good disguise.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking this morning, if I were to give a game ball to an offensive player, who would I give it to? And I was like, man, I was thinking I want to give it to Ben, but you can't give it to Ben. You can't. Just because like that pass he had to AB was a dime. He really realistically only had one pick, and I think he managed the game really well. But I couldn't give it to him because people like Samuels had such a massive game, But then also with that being said, I was like, man, our offensive line deserves it too. But ultimately, I do think Samuels deserves it because he had like 170 all-purpose yards coming off of a week like last week. And seeing any athlete like face adversity and answer the call the next week is just like, it makes me feel really good about that. You know what I mean? Even
what's an amazing stat with that too, Samuels, is he had 19 carries. He didn't even have. He's never had 19
in
carries
his high school. Nothing.
Yeah. This guy is just like So it's just and realistically, it's our third string running back. Mm-hmm. So we're down the depth chart, and that's why I say that's our offensive line, man. They're doing it. They're creating.
And I know you
just
don't.
need to keep that balance.
Yeah.
Keep that balance. Keep that defense. Not knowing what we're gonna do.
I know you don't like to talk about it, but man, Le'Veon Bell's gonna have some tough negotiations next year. If they're like this Jalen Samuels, third stringer, 170 all-purpose yards. Like, what makes you different? How are you different? You know what I mean? And people can say the eye test, like Le'Veon Bell is different, but it's like, are you willing to bet? So, are you willing to bet like X amount of dollars on that? You know what I mean? Like, so that I just think that's. Ultimately, I don't really care too much, but it's one of those things where in the back of my head I think like, what's this doing to Le'Veon's stock? You know what I mean? And also,
right.
he's been liking every post when we lose. It's like, Le'Veon Bell liked this, you know what I mean? So it's like, where's his like this week? He's not going to like that we beat the Patriots. But anyway, speaking about game balls, on the defensive end, who would you give a game ball to, you think, on defense?
Oh, definitely Hayden.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got that secondary playing strong. I think the communication's gotten better, especially giving up that first touchdown, all of a sudden things just solidified after that, I believe, and we played really sound, and I'm not sure Artie Burns started the game, and after that play, Artie Burns never came on the field again, so I don't know if Artie Burns' fault that happened or whatnot, but, once we got Sensabaugh came back in there, Sutton played a lot.
I do want to say starting Burns is questionable to me because he has played like shit, and it's like you can't just throw him back to the Wolves with no confidence. Like, you gotta let him just bench him for a few more games. Like, let him work it through practice and build his confidence back, because it's the same thing with Boswell talking about, oh, mentally, like, I don't feel like right for this. You know what I mean? It's like, if someone's mentality isn't right, then like, let him, like, especially someone like Burns, who we've actually invested in, the first round pick, like, let him sit out a couple games and like just tell him, like, look, we're gonna work you back in, but we need you to get these reps in practice, because you can't just throw him out to the Wolves and then let him further kill his confidence, and then him end up being like, well, shit, I don't even care anymore. You know what I mean? Because it's like, we used a first round pick on him, and maybe he can bounce back. You know what I mean? So, but
and I also think Bud Dupree was a first round pick of ours as well, and like we were talking about before, he didn't create a stat in the book.
Yeah.
We need players, like most of the defense came out there and exerted their will on the Patriots. We brought it to them. And Bud Dupree's just not there. He's not making the stat line. When you look on the opposite side, TJ Watt, he's in there he's got a sack, 2 hurries, 2 tackles, and he's showing up to play, where Bud Dupree, he's just not getting it.
Yeah. You gotta decline that and then I'll unpause. But yeah, I think Dupree was a little lackluster this game. I would give, if I had to give a game ball, I'd go the same way you're going, both ways, which sounds weird. I like a little difference, but I would give it to Samuels on the offensive end. I would give it to Hayden on the defensive end. It's too easy of a choice to me. Like Hayden, we talk about we need a playmaker. We're missing Shazier.
Yeah.
We need someone in the secondary who's a dog. And I think Hayden showed today that he could be that guy. You know what I mean? Like, I just think he was out there, like, he wanted to play. Like, I feel like we've been missing fire, we've been missing passion the last couple weeks. And this week, like, I didn't just see it from Hayden though. I saw it from everybody, but I think it was coming out of Hayden. You know what I mean? It was infectious to everybody around Hayden, because Hayden was like, we're winning this game. You know what I mean? He didn't leave Cleveland to not make the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, so. But I would say if I had to choose somebody else, it also easily would have been probably Watt. Our defensive line was pretty good, but Watt's just so good. Watt, and he's someone who brings energy to the team too, because he sacks somebody and he doesn't like take a play off. You know what I mean? He's always in there. He's like setting an example. You know what I mean? And I think Dupree has a lot of potential. What's up?
He plays with some intensity.
Yeah, that's what I love about him, and I think him and Dupree on both ends. Like, I think Dupree does have a lot of potential. Like, he didn't record a stat this game, which sucks, but I like Dupree, and I just think, I don't know, I think they're a deadly combination. Even having like Tuitt and Hayward.
We'll watch Dupree.
Yeah.
We'll watch him. He's just gonna have to start producing and start getting. We have those 2 linebackers producing more. Or Dupree producing more. That's going to be off the edge. I just remember back to the days with Greg Lloyd. Greg Lloyd, and gosh, I can't think of Green. Kevin Green was on the other end, and it was just they'd always say, "Hey, meet you at the quarterback." And they would. They're just rushing guys. So it was great back then too. But these two have the potential to be just like that for sure.
Yeah, I think Yeah, especially Watt. I mean, I don't. I'm not trying to like put all my eggs into Dupree's basket. I guess you could say. Like, I really like Dupree. I think he does have a lot of potential, but I think Watt is the guy. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I give Hayden the ball this game, but all year I give it to Watt for sure. I mean, Watt. Like I said, he hasn't taken a playoff. That means every game this season, I don't think he's taken a playoff. You know what I mean? Like, he's always in there trying to disrupt the quarterback. You know. And I think
and that pressure was getting to Brady. The pressure was getting to Brady.
Exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah. That interception he threw, I mean, he was falling back. I mean, it just seemed like it just seemed like we were watching a totally different defense because we were getting pressure off everything. It just seemed like Brady was getting pressure everywhere.
Well, I think we were. I was looking at that play and they were dissecting it a bit, and it really showed how they were kind of fooling Brady on showing him different coverages. You know, on that pick that Hayden got, which was just an amazing pick, how he went up there so strong.
Yeah. Yeah,
he went up there strong to get it. That's what we're missing is be aggressive after the ball. Go get the ball. Go attack it. Get it at the highest point. Don't sit there and wait for it to come down into your cradle here.
That's the worst. Yeah, watching that replay where the ball just slowly comes in, bounces off their chest. And
what happened was, what was nice is we had one deep safety. We were showing one deep look in two corners.
Mm-hmm.
And like they're showing that they're going to take the deep. Well, our corners stayed and just took the flats. And our other safety shot out, so they gave a two-safety deep look on the backside.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Brady was thinking, I can just go over there and throw it. I got Gronk kind of going over there, so either throw it away or the only person who's going to have a chance to get that is Gronk, under that pressure.
Yeah.
And Hayden was right there hanging in the flats, and safety had the deep.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's good to see Pittsburgh kind of scheming a little bit, too. I think we kind of lacked that. Maybe it is because since of bad communication, and finally we're starting to figure that secondary out and know what to do, communicate better.
I think this is the first game, which I don't know if it's schematically or what, but it seems like in the past we've always lacked a safety over the top, especially against someone like Gronk or whatever, who's just catching balls over people with nobody bringing heat from the front, from the back. And I think this game we just did a good job of just, I don't know, like. I just feel like Brady did not have a lot of options to throw. I think we were one step ahead of them defensively on like 90% of their plays. They moved the ball from the 30 to 30 like with effort, like no effort. You know what I mean? There was just like 30-yard pickup, 20-yard pickup in the red zone. And it's like I still had so much confidence we're in the red zone. I'm like, this is when Pittsburgh's like, all right, they're here. They don't got it. They can't pick up 30 yards. You know what I mean? Like we hold them. I think we did really well.
Yeah, we bracketed Gronk really good. Yeah, one guy underneath taking him, safety over the top, just creating very small windows to get it in there. He still got in there a few times when we were late going over the top to kind of close that window out. But, all in all, kudos to that defense.
Yeah.
I think 17-10 win, I'll take it.
I think this is the best game our defense has played this season. I don't think it's the best game our offense has played, but I think we had the best drive our offense has had this season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That to close out the clock, or whatever. Like we didn't play we've had much better games offensively, but we had the best drive today. That was just everything about it was just. And I keep telling myself like, we would have given Brady the ball back with like 4 minutes left if Vance didn't catch that 3rd and 9. If Ben didn't throw that ball so well, you know what I mean? He just catches it, runs out of bounds, resets, 1st and 10.
Yeah.
We get a whole new set. It's just like, damn.
Right. It's still just a one-score game.
Yeah, yeah.
And the thing is, too, the Patriot defense, you got to give kudos to them, too, because, I'm telling you, their secondary blanketed our receivers.
Yeah.
They were honest constantly. We didn't have much room, and like that one to Vance McDonald for the pickup, the window was small.
Yeah, it was. I think...
he had to hit him right stride, and that guy on him he was right there. You couldn't have any mistakes.
Yeah.
Their secondary is really good. Athletic linebackers.
Uh-huh. I listen to the Bill Simmons podcast every day. I talk to you about him. I really appreciate his content. But he was talking about how like Brady just didn't look like Brady, and Brady was very lackluster, and which is fine. Like he's definitely I respect a lot of his opinion, like so much. You know what I mean? But also at the same time, it's like, man, I think Pittsburgh's defense deserves some credit. You know what I mean? Because I think we were like all over. I think our secondary was out there for they were not going to lose today. You know. So it's like, yeah, Brady might not have looked great. Like I think you might have said he only had 100 yards in the first half or whatever. But
60, yeah, he had 160.
160, but I just think our secondary was out there to win today. I think they deserve a lot of credit. Like Brady is Brady at the end of the day. Like I'm always going to be scared of Brady. You know what I mean? If they win that game, it's going to be vintage Brady. He game-winning drive in Pittsburgh. So it's like one of those things. Or go ahead.
A lot of times it is the defense. It's the crowd. You know, it's
crowd
a
was
hostile.
awesome.
Yeah, the hostile stadium. You know, so kudos to the Steelers making life miserable for Brady as much as possible. You know, I mean, it's not always going to be, the AFC East.
Yeah.
You're playing. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah. We're going to create some issues for you. So I think all the weaknesses we've had playing the Patriots before, we were stronger in all phases this game.
Yeah.
We were definitely
I think
stronger.
so too, for sure. I do also want to say, like, disregarding Pittsburgh, the AFC is like just an absolute mess right now. Like, the playoff picture is in no way decided. KC could go from the 1 to the 5, and LA could go from the 5 to the 1 in 1 week. Like, this week it could happen. You know what I mean? It's just great. And Pittsburgh could fall all the way out or whatever, and Baltimore could go in. It's just like,
I don't know how many teams we have that are 8-6. I mean, there's several teams in the league that are 8-6.
Yeah.
And then you got some teams that are 7-6 that are just one game from taking the spot of the 8-6 teams. That are. I mean, it's crazy.
The AFC is so open, right? I was looking at a thing last night. I mean, even I think Cleveland can still make the wild card game if they wanted to. Like, and we played Cleveland last. So Baltimore is playing the Chargers or whatever. We're playing the Saints, and then we follow the Saints with Cincinnati, and then they play the Browns. So it very well could be division games that decide the AFC North. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the sense of us having to beat Cincinnati and Baltimore having to beat the Browns, which I think the Browns are a little tougher in my opinion, but who knows? Like I said before, you never know what Pittsburgh team shows up, so we could. Who knows? I mean, we just need to get it taken care of in New Orleans. Yeah,
we control our own destiny, so we just got to get it done.
Yeah,
we're a good road team this year.
Yeah, we are. Besides in Oakland.
So. We don't want to go too far west.
Yeah.
Louisiana's not too far.
Right. Is there anything else you want to bring up about the Patriots game or anything before we close this out?
No, I think that'll cover it, man.
Gosh, I just feel good. Like, I don't have much more to talk about with it, but God, I just want to sit and soak up the victory.
I know, enjoy it.
Gosh, yeah. But I also am. I'm very, very much looking forward to playing the Saints on Sunday. We play on Sunday, right?
Yeah, I'm excited. Should be the late game, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I think we. I don't know. I'll say it this whole season. I think we can beat anybody. I think we can also lose to anybody. You know what I mean? Like, we have a high ceiling, but it just depends on where we want to end up. What
was the game last night? 12-7 or 12-9?
12-9,
Carolina
yeah.
6. Yeah. So
Cam has struggled throwing the ball this year, though.
Yeah.
McCaffrey threw their one touchdown pass, so I mean, which was an awesome play, but anyways.
We'll do a preview for the Saint game, huh? Pretty soon.
Yeah. I mean, I got tomorrow off. I doubt we'll do it tomorrow, but maybe in the next couple days. I still got to get Wood on to talk about this game.
Yeah.
But all right, man. Thanks for coming on and sharing your thoughts. If you guys have any comments or anything, and you guys want to leave them below, we really appreciate your questions. We love it. I personally love hearing your questions. I love to answer them. Me and my dad will talk about them all day and try to figure out the best answer we can give you guys. If you guys want us to talk about anything else, like, please drop it below. I'll talk about anything. If anybody wants to come on and talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and why they're going to win the Super Bowl next year, so be it. Let's do it. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you doing this with me, Dad. This has been fun, and I look forward to continuing it. All right, man. See ya.
See you guys.